I wasn't involved in all the negative conversations. I'm not on there listening to people bitch and complain about this thing, that thing, this lender, that lender, this revision request, this. It was more so just trying to surround myself with people or listening to people that would clear my mind and make me understand what it is that I can do.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
Welcome to the program, everybody. My name is Dustin Harris. I'm the host of the Appraiser Coach Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I want to pause and remind you that we're sponsored by two great companies. Of course, Alamode is my software of choice for residential appraisal report writing. It should be yours as well. Check them out. Go to alamode.com or 800-ALAMODE. And my choice to find out what's going on in the appraisal world, evaluation profession, as it were, is Working RE Magazine. Working RE can be found at workingre.com. That's Working REs and workingrealestate.com. I want to welcome back to the program my good friend. It has been a while, Mr. Mark Skapinetz. Welcome back, Mark.
Thanks, man. It's good to see you again.
It's very good to see you, my friend. Lots has happened since the last time you were on the program. Catch us up, man. You're still doing what's it worth appraisals. You're still you've got some new things going on though. Talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, lots going on. I mean, I had to make some changes, had to do some things for myself, but yeah, I'm still doing the appraising. I still got my company and I'm doing really well down here. Really, really busy with a ton of private work. I think I've done maybe one AMC job in the last year. As I was talking to you earlier. Yeah, as I was talking to you earlier, I just finished up doing an inspection this morning for my 27th job this month already. So it's been busy for the last couple months, and I'm not complaining. That's for sure, especially when it's all private work.
Well, yeah, you've really over the last couple of years, and I know we spoke about this last time you were on the program. You've really focused on the private work over the last couple of years, and for those out there who want to get into private work but maybe haven't taken that leap. Just briefly give us some, just an idea how you moved your world, because you really were like neck deep, if you will, in AMC work, and now it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, it was actually it was a couple of very simple changes. I mean, first you just got to change your mindset. You just got to change the way that you're looking for business. Number two is you just can't do the things of old, meaning try and solicit agents or try and solicit attorneys. A lot of these people have people already that they work with, but we're in a day and age of the internet. It wasn't like that back in the day when we first started out. So you had to go out and visit these people, but now you have the internet. So it's very simple. First, I just had to change my process, my thinking, and that was develop a new domain name that Google would recognize, not whatsitworthappraisals.com. I switched it to atlantapropertyappraiser.com. And that's because those are the three key words, Atlanta property and appraiser, that were being searched the most in the area. So I changed that and was lucky enough to get that domain. And then it was doing the Google My Business and getting my Google My Business up, getting reviews, posting to Google My Business nonstop. I found that I was doing a lot on Facebook, but it wasn't bringing anything in. So I found I was doing things out there. I had to redo my website, and change that up and make it more simpler for people. But it was to Google My Business and spending time on that to go after the ultimate client. And I'm sure Steve Whitby, if he hears this, he's an appraiser. He always preaches the ultimate client, and that's the consumer, because they're the ones that are ultimately looking for something. You do have agents that want to use you. You do have attorneys that want to use you. But what people keep forgetting is that the consumer wants to use you as well for so many different reasons. And once I got to the consumer and once I started getting the reviews, man, the floodgates opened up. The heavens opened up and work just started flooding in. because that's what I was doing and nobody else was doing that. So
in our mastermind, we call the ultimate client the avatar. Who are you going for? What are your services? Who are your services for? And that focus, it makes all the difference in the world. I love to hear that you're doing a lot with Google Business Profile. That's the other thing that we're doing a lot on with the All-Star team, the mastermind, because that's really key, right? Once you start getting those reviews, it changes everything.
It's not just the reviews, it's putting out the content on there, because that's what Google reads and sees, and that's what the consumer sees. And if you can get your information out there and you start ranking, because if you look at the Google My Business out there, you look at the people on the websites, I mean, you do a search for an appraiser, look how many pop up, but look how many have 0 reviews.
I know.
And what do you do when you go to Amazon, or if you're looking for a restaurant in an area you've never been in? You get on Google, you say, hey, restaurants near me, and you start reading the reviews and looking at the stars. If they have 0 stars, you really think you're going to want to go there? No. So even if you don't have a lot of stars, you have a lot of good reviews or even bad reviews, you just got to interact with it, and you really got to keep it up to date, because that's what's going to generate you, not just on Google, but on searches, but all over the place. And once you connect everything together, that along with your website, and keep your website clean and simple, and you interact with these people, and that's the key. That's the key to the whole thing working. I don't care what you do out there. You have to learn how to interact, talk, and persuade these people to use your service. Nope. I use the Storybook brand. Okay. There's 7 principles in the Storybook brand, and you can look that up, but you want to make that consumer the hero of their own story. At the end of the day, you're there to help them solve the problem. And once it's solved, guess what? They sit back and go, wow, if I didn't call that guy, if I called this other guy, I could have been in trouble, or could have been this guy really helped me out, or this girl helped me out. You made them feel like they did the right thing. So kind of how you have to go about it. But yeah, then, I mean,
but tell us about the hat, my friend. I mean, it's a little something new.
Yeah, this is a new company that I am now a partner with one of my good friends. We are opening up a mortgage company in August or September. I just passed.
Wait. You're switching sides, man.
Not really. I mean, I am, but I mean, the good part is that the appraisal side of it actually works well with the lender side of it.
Yeah. See, isn't that and obviously I'm joking about switching sides. Oh, yeah. But sometimes we think of it that way, right? We think of these loan officers as somehow, even though they're the ones that pay our paycheck, ultimately, we're the ones, we look at them as the enemy. I love this idea, though, of an appraiser being a partner and a loan originator with a mortgage company.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand. You got to really think about it deeply. I mean, I always everybody else complains about the lenders out there. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, they don't know anything, whatever, trying to get us to do this and that. Well, if you think about it from an appraiser standpoint, working as a loan officer now, I mean, you have somebody there that understands in this company the appraisal process. Directly. I'm going to be a loan originator. I'm going to help originate loans for this company. But when those appraisals come in, I can now see them and understand them better than anybody else out there. I can help my partner understand them, teach other people to understand them, our underwriter, our processor, whoever. So you're an agent, you send your clients our way. Well, you're going to be in good hands all the way around. You've got a guy with 19 years of mortgage experience as a loan officer and a mortgage broker, my buddy Christian Bland, and then you've got myself as an appraiser and a loan officer as well. So it kind of works really well. He had a business for 19 years. He actually sold it to his partner for lots of different reasons. Okay. But then he approached me and said, hey, I want to open up a new one after I take some time off. And I've thought about this for a long time. I know we've talked about it, but you want to come in and be my partner, and we'll go open one up and start. I said, sure. So we had to come up with a name, and I'm very good at coming up with different creative names. And we ended up calling it Georgia Mortgage Connections. And as you can see on the hat, it's little houses connected together. I love it. Yep. But we're all about connections. That's what he's about. That's what I'm about. And it's about not just making connections with your clients, but making connections with the right loan for them, the right, issues for the right people for them, the processors, the servicers. It's connecting it all together and doing it right. So that's kind of how we came up with the name and the logo. And man, I'm excited. I'm really excited to make this change. I think it's been a long time coming, and it's just a new opportunity. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I just come back to what I've already been doing,
Yeah, you're not
So
trying to. And I assume you're talking about how, as an appraiser, you have an opportunity to know a little bit about the loan side, right? I assume the opposite is true as well, right? Learning about the loan origination side and what it takes to get financing will also help you to understand your job as an appraiser better. Am I
I
right?
oh, absolutely. When I took the exam, I failed it the first time, just like my appraisal test. Uh, but then I passed it the second time around, which is like 2 weeks ago. But all the stuff I learned there, even my partner just said, you just forget that. You need to know the laws and regulations. You need to know this stuff. However, now we're going to start teaching you the nuts and bolts of what we do here, and a
Right.
lot of it's going to seem familiar to you because of your appraisal background and because it's a really client base. It's really face to face or talking to people, which I'm definitely good at. But now it's learning, the different loans, the different types of products, the different types of things, which I think in turn will help me understand, okay, when I'm appraising these, because right now I just know, hey, if it's an FHA appraisal, this is what I have to do. If it's conventional, it's this. I don't know the other things. And I think now it's going to make a little more sense, especially when I get those irate calls about people, their loan or this or that. I'll understand that a little bit more from both sides, appraisal side and lender side.
Right. Love it. We're talking with Mark Skapinetz. Of course, he's with What's It's Worth Appraisals. And of course, his new venture, which is a partner and loan originator at Georgia Mortgage Connections. Mark, when we get back, I want to talk a little bit about change. I want to talk a little bit about some of your ideas on the appraisal world and things that are going on there. But first, I want to pause. And speaking of the appraisal world, how do you know what's going on in the appraisal world? How do you know what's going on in the world of regulation, the GSEs, mortgage companies, AMCs, the world that we work in, folks? Well, I go to one place, and that one place is Working RE Magazine. You can sign up for their free newsletter by just going to their website and putting your email in there. It is workingre.com. Again, workingre.com. Alamode, of course, is the software that I have been using for many, many years, and there's a reason. In fact, just yesterday, folks, I was on the phone with one of my colleagues. We were talking through some of the tools that we utilize within Total, and even though I've been with them almost 30 years, it never ceases to amaze me the smart tools that are built into the program that will simply help you to be more efficient at what you do. Folks, if you're frustrated with the software that you are using currently and it's not Alamode, I implore you to check them out. Go to alamode.com or 800 Alamode. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Dustin Harris hanging out with my good friend, Mr. Mark Skapinetz. Man, I haven't seen you forever. It's so good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see your, if you're on YouTube, folks, you can see Destiny behind you. I know she had a little bit of a mishap this year, and here she's healing up well.
Yeah, she got in. We were out at a softball field and watching softball game that I used to play for the softball team, and a big Great Dane just came around from nowhere and grabbed a hold of her by the neck and basically was trying to maul her. And yeah, we had a little bit of a scuffle, finally got her off, but she had some nicks and bites and some wounds, but she's healed up really well and she's kind of back to her normal self.
Good. I can't even imagine going through that. What a horrific experience that must have been.
Oh, I still relive it in my mind and it's terrible. So
yeah, horrible. Well, listen, I wanted to have you on the program, not to just talk about your new venture, not to implore appraisers to look into private work and kind of, if you will, put you on a pedestal of being one that took your business from where it was to where it is now. It can be done, folks. But I also wanted to talk to you just a little bit about the industry and kind of your thoughts of how things are going and how Mark Skapinetz is going. So take it away, my friend. How are things in your life? And let's talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, things are good. I mean, obviously, a lot of people know I've kind of shifted gears and I've gotten away from the social media stuff. I actually left my 100% group and some other groups out there. Kind of just needed a really major break. I got some things.
By the way, just good for you. Really, I mean, good for you. This idea that we have to constantly be entrenched in social media, I think, is a falsehood that has a lot of major implications. I love that you've just consciously made the choice to step back from all that.
Well, it was tough. I mean, obviously that was my baby, the group, and it was tough, but it was a decision I had to make to be better off for myself mentally, and with everything else I have going on. I just don't need the distractions. And, you just see it, I mean, I've been there. A lot of other people have been there where it's just negative, negative, negative. And it's the same stuff over and over and over. And you just see everybody talking about the issues out there and everything. I just needed to concentrate on myself, concentrate on my personal life, concentrate on my business, concentrate on the things that I'm doing. And that was a major step to getting in the right direction, was to get off these groups, get out of places, and just kind of go in hiding, I would say, a little hibernation mode. And it's been good. I mean, it's really been good for me mentally. Look, I've made my mistakes out there, and I've apologized to so many people, and I've done some really dumb things and said some dumb things on there. But, at the end of the day, being off it now has really cleared my mind, and I don't feel as negative anymore. I don't feel negative towards things because I got so many positives that were being covered up by all those negatives. There's so many more positive things that I'm doing now because I'm not entrenched with the conversations and the negativity and trying to fix things and trying to help things and trying to help do things for other people and constantly being on my phone and getting and messages from people. It's one thing to help people, and it's one thing to try and add your thoughts and everything, but it's another when it starts to affect you so darn much that you just lose sight of who you are, and you're, next thing you know, you're just entrenched in this negativity in your life day and night. And even my wife said it, the moment that I was out of the groups, it was about a week or so later, and she checked on me. She says, "You back on Facebook? You back in your groups?" No. And she said, "Good, because I could tell, because you just are spending more time doing the things that I want to do with you, and more time with us, and more time on your business and things, and more time playing golf." So, I really suggest that everybody should do it. You could keep up to date with the issues and everything that's going on in other ways. And look, I don't think I've seen any different issues come about in almost the last maybe 2 years, 3 years. It's all the same stuff, between the racial bias, between the waivers, the new what do they call them, property data collectors, and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, when you really think about it, I'm not in control of any of that. Nobody's in control of that except for the higher powers and the people that are creating it. And there's nothing you're really going to be able to do. You can keep bitching and complaining about it, or you can just move on and find other things and better yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just better myself and better my business and move on to some other things. I mean, I still want to keep up with things, and I still keep in touch with people, but man, I mean, look, the issues are the issues. I don't agree with a lot of them. I don't agree with the property data collectors. I actually just did a podcast for the Atlanta realtors out here that'll be coming out shortly, talking with one of my good agent friends. And we talked about that, and we talked about some other things with the appraisal world. But, I think I think just like everything else out there, we've always gotten into it too late. It's like the secret meetings happen. Things get put into place. And then we as the appraisers are the last ones to find out about it. No. And by the time we find out about it, it's already in motion. And I mean, look at the property data collecting thing that Fannie Mae and Freddie came out, and they had their 6 AMC people, that they selected. What? It came out of nowhere, and these 6 companies were already developing this stuff, and we had no idea. I
don't know about that. I mean, I don't know if it came out of nowhere. I think we saw this coming for a long time, but I know what you're saying. On a macro level, we can definitely have influence, but we certainly don't make those decisions, right? What I hear you saying, and this is something that I've preached for many years, is on a micro level, you have all the control. And in other words, what they do out there, you don't have much control over. I'm not saying you shouldn't be involved. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be politically active. I'm saying that in the end, they make the decisions they make. And then you, Mark, me, Dustin, we have to make the decisions on what we're going to do personally and what we're going to do with our business.
Well, and I think that's where we lose sight of that. I've lost sight of that a lot. I was always concentrating on all those big issues and trying to write letters, write my blogs, call people, do this, do that. But, I'm just one person. And even with having all these other people out there, I mean, it was a little too late. You're just kind of trying to play catch up and get your voice heard. I applaud anybody out there that's trying to make a difference, and trying to do things. But for me, it was just taking up so much of my time that mentally I was just getting burnt out from it. And I was losing sight of the opportunities that come from the different changes. And I think that's where most people don't see it. There's always an opportunity when something bad happens or something good happens. But because of this, all these issues coming out, I just kept pushing harder and harder and harder at the private work and harder on bettering myself and bettering my business and putting the information out there to the people in my local area and people in my micro market and that use me. It doesn't make a difference for me, anybody in Montana, because I don't work in Montana. But if I can educate, if I can do the things in my micro market here, be that expert, like I saw on your sign, be that expert, that's where it's getting me a lot of work in other different ways. I've had some people send me some property data collection stuff that they're like, wait a minute here, what is this? And then I have to explain it to them, but there's nothing I could really do other than just help them and make them better. Yeah. So I think that's where I think a lot of people should try to look at it that way. I mean, yeah, you definitely want to keep up with the major issues and try to make a difference. And I see, I saw some people out there, they were in Washington, D.C. There's a new think tank or something out there. Great. That's awesome. I know a couple of those people, but at the end of the day, you really just got to kind of decide what's going to make you happy and where you are going to make your money and where you are going to go with things other than everybody else.
Yeah, I love it. Before we close up today, Mark, any other words of wisdom, any other things that are going on in Mark Skapinetz's head that you want to get out there on the microphone? I love this. I love the wisdom that you bring to the program. I love the fact that you have lived it, right? You have been on the AMC side. You have been on the private side. You're going to be in the loan officer side. But more important than all of that is this idea of a guy that I see figuring it out for himself, and the wisdom is great.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's wisdom. I would just say it's more so just sitting. I just say it's more that I finally sat back. I mean, everybody knows my issue. I mean, I went from a big, huge lawsuit. I got myself drunk off my rocker. I did stupid things. I went to rehab. I'm still sober, by the way.
The rumors aren't true, Mark.
Yeah, rumors aren't true. I just had to just start dwindling down all the things out there that really just did. I mean, they matter to me, but they just didn't matter to me right now and where I am and where I want to go with things. Good. So I had to kind of get that together. Once I got that together, I think my mind was able to clear up. Like I said earlier, I wasn't involved in all the negative conversations. I'm not on there listening to people bitch and complain about this thing, that thing, this lender, that lender, this revision request, this. It was more so just trying to surround myself with people or listening to people that would clear my mind and make me understand what it is that I can do, what I can control, where I can go with things and what I need to do with my life. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my life. It's my family. I need to support them and do that and support my business and support my ventures. So I don't know. I just think I don't know if it's wisdom. I just think it was just getting clarity and finally ridding myself of all the crap that took up my brain and took up my head and trying to be that, that crusader for everybody that I loved so much. And I still want to help and everything. So I'm always available to talk to people and help them with things. I just don't have the time or the energy anymore to put forth an effort for things that I just in my heart of heart believe I can't control or fix.
I love it. Yeah, you call it not wisdom. I call it wisdom. Mr. Mark Skapinetz, What's It Worth Appraisals in Atlanta, Georgia, soon to be partner and loan originator at Georgia Mortgage Connections, and still once in a while a contributing member to the 100% Real Estate Appraisers on Facebook. Mark, thank you, my friend. It's been an honor to have you. As always, you always have an open seat here on this program.
We'll definitely be back once I get this mortgage company going. I'm going to have to come back and relay some stuff to everybody that I see out there from that side of it. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. I always love being on with you and talking with you. It's always fun. It's always energetic and it's always good to get things off my chest. I appreciate it. I love it. I appreciate you so much. Brandon. Yeah, man.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.